This is what I'm talking about. Big slow motion action sequence. Who knows if you live or die?
Who's next?
Oh my God.
Sabretooth, ready to die. Wait. Time!
You look ridiculous. People have waited decades for this fight. It's not gonna be easy. Baby knife, you shoot the double, you take him down. Side control, then full mount, and you ground and pound till he makes no sound because he's dead.
Shut the f up.
Oh my God. Okay, good luck. I'm a huge fan. I've always wanted to ride with you, Logan.
What you thinking about?
Deadpool and Wolverine. Can you imagine the fun? The chaos?
You mind putting your mask back on?
Super hard to eat while I'm wearing it.
It's super hard to eat when you're not.
I'm about to lose everything that I've ever cared about.
Go for me.
Shh. Almost done. Our entire world needs you. Huh. Paul Rudd finally aged. Us? A team? The answer is yes. Shake on it. Ah! You nicked it. Just got the tip with your little steak knife.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Marvel released a brand new Deadpool and Wolverine trailer. There's a bunch going on. We saw Sabretooth finally, but not just any version of Sabretooth, the original Tyler Mane version of Sabretooth from the X-Men 2000 movie. There's a bunch of fourth wall breaks, a bunch more Easter eggs in the background, so we'll break it all down. If you're brand new to the channel, we're doing that Deadpool and Wolverine ticket giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and post your favorite Easter egg in the comments below. Love the way how Deadpool breaks the fourth wall saying people have been waiting for this fight for forever. Now make sure you do it right, and basically gives him advice for fighting Sabretooth that almost makes it sound like he's giving advice for someone that's about to have a sex scene. Like, wait a minute, what are you telling him to do here? Ground and pound? Do what? Very much in the tone of something that Deadpool would do when he's trying to explain how to fight someone. I know there are a lot of people also asking if Liev Schreiber's version of Sabretooth is also going to have a cameo scene in the movie, like multiple versions of Sabretooth, because there was a bit of a funny crossover scene in real life during the pandemic where they all did a video chat together, joking, clowning on Wolverine Origins.
That fell apart quickly. Ooh. Guess it's just you and me, Logan.
I guess so.
You know what that makes this a reunion for?
X-Men Origins reunite. Yeah.
I do believe that Liev Schreiber is supposed to have some kind of cameo scene, but I don't know exactly what he's supposed to be doing during the movie. For the most part, they just want to hype up this Tyler Mane version of Sabretooth, original Sabretooth. But starting at the beginning of the trailer footage, they play some of the footage we've seen before where Deadpool is trying to appeal to Wolverine, bring him around, basically tell him that his world is going to be destroyed if he doesn't help him out. There have been a lot of theories about why this is the case. Like, is the TVA threatening to prune Deadpool's reality because he is technically a variant? Like, he caused a Nexus event with Cable's time travel device messing with all the different timelines. I think that's the reason why Shatterstar is alive again, because during the events of Deadpool 2, pretty much all the X-Force team, for the most part, not everybody, but most everybody died. So I think Deadpool made all those changes with Cable's time travel device, and it brought him back and changed some other things in his reality too. But technically, his reality that he comes from at the beginning of the movie is meant to be that main X-Men movie timeline. Like, he's meant to be canon to the X-Men universe. This sort of plays into the meta aspect of the movie with them clowning on Kevin Feige and Disney, Marvel Studios just in general, for recasting all the X-Men actors with the new X-Men reboot movie that they're going to be doing in the MCU eventually, thus rendering all the classic X-Men movies completely irrelevant, pruning them, quote-unquote, pruning them like the TVA would prune stuff during the Loki series, sending it to the void. Thus, we get that 20th Century Fox logo that got pruned, bit of a joke on Disney buying Fox, rendering it kind of inert, even though technically Fox still does release movies inside Disney. It's just like a fraction of its former self now. We get that same scene of Alioth coming to Ant-Man's body on the Void. It's Ant-Man's entire dead body. Not clear when he died. There are a lot of theories about that, like maybe during the events of Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania, there was a timeline out there where Ant-Man died in Giant Man form, or maybe he died in Giant Man form during Ant-Man and the Wasp. There are like a couple times we've seen him go into Giant Man form like this. I've already explained all my theories about what's going on with the Alioth character and how I think Cassandra Nova is using her powers of telepathy, like one of her many abilities during the movie, because she's acquired all these very powerful artifacts that have been pruned and sent to the void. She's meant to have the exact same powers as Professor X. She's meant to be his twin, canonically, inside the comics. In the context of the movie, they might explain that she was just born his twin in one timeline, and the TVA thought that was going to be a Nexus event, so they pruned her for that reason. But I do like the theory that she is controlling Alioth using her powers of telepathy. Like, that's one of Alioth's weaknesses, because Loki and Sylvie were also able to temporarily control Alioth. So even though Alioth is meant to be powerful enough to consume entire realities, entire timelines, it does have weaknesses. We get that same scene of Deadpool with everybody explaining all of his friends to Wolverine with the scene of him earlier in the movie. This is taking place earlier in the movie during the birthday party that they throw for him. When the movie picks up, Peter and everyone else are throwing a surprise party for him. That's what the cake is for. This is actually a brand new picture of them at the used car dealership where Deadpool is working at the beginning of the film too. Within the context of the movie, they explain it's been a couple years since the events of Deadpool 2, like it has also been a couple years in real life since the last Deadpool movie. He's having a midlife crisis, he's quit being a superhero because he feels like he's not needed anymore. That's also meant to be a meta joke about Disney buying Fox, Marvel doing new versions of all the X-Men characters, rendering the Fox Marvel characters inert, and technically he's starting in the movie as a Fox Marvel character. So it's like saying, well, Disney's going to recast all these actors, Kevin Feige's going to recast all these characters, so they don't need me to be a superhero anymore. So he has to get a day job at this car dealership with Peter to pay the bills. They released the first 9 minutes of the movie back at CinemaCon earlier this year, where basically you see him at that car dealership just doing all kinds of Deadpool-style jokes, just breaking the fourth wall and saying all the things that you're not supposed to say in movies. We get that same scene of them getting ready to fight in front of the 20th Century Fox logo, then the separate scene of him around the campfire looking scene with him saying he's no hero. There's been a lot of theories about what's going on in this scene with Wolverine. I think this is Cassandra Nova messing with his mind, making him relive some of his traumatic memories. So this isn't actually happening in the context of the movie, it's just happening inside his head. A lot of people wondering what all these graves are for. I think these are still meant to be for all the dead X-Men from his team, the people from his world that he failed, quote unquote. There's the same funny scene of him popping his claws after they've been captured by Cassandra Nova's evil band of X-Men variants. Seems like he cuts off the tip of his dick, but it's okay because Deadpool regenerates really fast. Then we get that cool Wolverine versus Sabretooth fight. This is after they roll up the first time in the movie, like they're in the middle of fighting in front of the 20th Century Fox logo. It seems like their fight is interrupted when Cassandra Nova's X-Men roll up to capture them. There's this big standoff scene, then Deadpool basically pauses the movie. Like, I love the way he breaks the fourth wall to pause the movie. That's a sign that a character is meant to be ultra powerful if they can actually pause the events of the film. We always talk about who the most powerful Marvel characters are. Like, there's the in-universe example, like within the context of the story, like the Celestials, for example, super powerful cosmic beings, or like the gods in the Marvel universe, very powerful beings. But if you really think about it, the characters who are meant to be the most powerful are the ones who have the ability to affect the actual movie itself, which are people who could break the fourth wall, like Deadpool. So in this scene, you see Tyler Mane's version of Wolverine jump down. It is meant to be Tyler Mane who came back to play his character briefly. Now, I won't get into too many spoilers here because I did a video earlier this year when they were filming. We actually saw the rest of the footage from this fight, so we actually know how this fight goes down. I'll post a link to that at the end of this so you can watch that entire Wolverine versus Sabretooth fight if you want to see how that goes down. But there's a ton of Easter eggs going on in the background here too. Like, you have the wreckage of the 20th Century Fox logo. That's funny enough by itself. But also you have the Moon Knight cupcake truck. Still wondering what the Nexus event was that got that thing pruned and sent to the void. We get a better look at that submarine-looking ship in the background too. Like, there's a wreckage of what looks kind of like a submarine. To the far left, you also have Red Skull's car from the first Captain America movie that's been hot-rodded to made to look like Iron Man's hot rod car from the first Iron Man film. It's even got an Iron Man hood ornament on it, meaning that it was Iron Man's car from a reality, like it got pruned because Iron Man did something with Red Skull's car. Still a lot of theories about what that was, like an evil version of Iron Man, or just one that went way off the books and created a Nexus event. Zoom and enhance, you can also see that Pyro, or one of Pyro's variants, is also sitting on the car because he's driving it. Not clear who's on the far right here with the hood and the mask on that's next to Sabretooth though. The vehicle that they're riding on is like a communications truck that they made out of one of Red Skull's tanks from the first Captain America movie as well. There's a lot of stuff from the first Captain America movie here, like the motorcycles that they're using to pull that tank. Behind Moon Knight's cupcake truck, you see the Toronto Needle in a much bigger frame now too, like it's much more clear. Ryan Reynolds himself is from Toronto, so there's always a lot of Canada Easter eggs in all of his movies. Also, Wolverine is a Canadian character. so expect a lot of Canada Easter eggs during the movie just in general. Also notice that Wolverine has Deadpool's adamantium swords sticking out of him before the fight like it's no big deal, like he's just standing there not even talking about it. Which Deadpool then pulls out of him when he pauses the movie like, wait a second, you look ridiculous, and pulls his swords out so that he can get ready for the fight. When Sabretooth says ready to die, they also play that same music that they used to play at old school basketball matches too, like they're playing music for their fight to hype everyone up. I'm assuming they're using that music just for this trailer and it's not diegetic, like we don't actually hear that same song when the scene is happening in the actual movie itself. But his dialogue, ready to die, is also similar to what he said to Wolverine during the events of that first X-Men 2000 movie when they fought each other. That joke about people waiting decades to see this fight is also back to that first X-Men 2000 movie because that's how long it's been since we've seen Tyler Mane's version of Sabretooth, because even during that movie, we didn't see that much of a fight between the two of them at the time. When we got the X2 movie, Tyler Mane didn't come back for that. For whatever reason, they didn't bring him back, so we never actually got that fight. Deadpool's actual advice to him here is baby knife, shoot the devil, you take him down, side control, then full mount, and you ground and pound until he makes no sound because he's dead. This is just meant to be a taste of some of the matchups that they have during the movie. There are a couple other scenes they released online too. Like this is a better scene of Cassandra Nova. You get a much better look at the actual costume she's wearing during the movie. It's meant to be based on her comic book suit from the E is for Extinction storyline when she debuted in the comics. She was created by Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely, who was also just referenced in James Gunn's Superman movie too. The Quitely Easter egg here too is for the Superman comics that he worked on in the past. Grant Morrison himself also worked on those Superman comics. All-Star Superman, probably one of the best Superman runs of all time. But there's not going to be any Superman Easter eggs in Deadpool and Wolverine. Speaking of X-Men E is for Extinction, they also did part of that storyline during X-Men 97 Season 1. I did videos for all those episodes. I'll post a link for that down in the description below. They confirmed that Season 2 of that show is going to air next year, probably next summer too. But there's a bunch of Easter eggs going on during this. If you spotted any that I didn't talk about in the video or my previous Deadpool and Wolverine trailer videos, just write them below in the comments. And I'll just keep the giveaway going this week as I post new Marvel videos. There's a bunch of big stuff coming up. We're in the middle of The Boys Season 4 episodes. My House of the Dragon Season 2 Episode 3 video will post on Sunday. Make sure you enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss anything. Everybody click here for that full Wolverine versus Sabretooth fight to find out how that goes down, and click here for my brand new Boys Season 4 Episode 5 video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.